Welcome to the Java J2EE online demo session. So part of this Java training course, we are going to learn different things, and I'm going to explain you what exactly we are going to learn during the training, and what are the documentation I'll be providing you, and what are the other sorts of material I'll be providing, and what course content will be covered. We are going to see like detailed. And if you look at the today's demo session, this is pretty much what I'm going to cover, like introduction about the Java programming language and what is the current market needs, like multi-screen devices or multi-screen systems, and the training course content, like what is the exact details, like what kind of nitty-gritty details of the course content we are going to learn, and why do you want to take the training with me. So this is pretty much the agenda of today's demo session. I'm sure you might be familiar with some of these Java programming facts, but I'll quickly walk you through that. So to give you very overview about the facts about the Java programming language. So as you know that so Java is a open source programming language, means so the Java software is pretty much used by simply downloading, and you don't have to purchase any license for that. And Java is a platform independent programming language, means so if you write a program on Windows operating system, the same program works consistently on different operating systems like Solaris, Mac, and other Unix operating systems consistently. You don't have to recompile the program for that. And Java is pretty simple and very high level programming language, and it's very object oriented programming language. And using Java, so you can build a distributed applications, means you can run your application on multi servers rather than running on the one simple server. And it's a multi-threaded programming language where you can simulate more than one threads in the operating system level to efficiently execute the application processing logic. And it's very dynamic, high performance and robust programming, where you can develop the applications are very scalable and robust and very solid. You can build such kind of applications using the Java programming. So if you see, Java is everywhere, and you can find some of the very hard facts about the Java programming. So around 97% of enterprise desktops runs on Java, and 89% of desktops in the US run Java programming, or you can say Java platform as such, and around 9 million Java developers across the worldwide. And you can think it is like a choice one developer programming language and choice one development platform programming language. And around 3 billion mobile phones are running the Java programming as a Java platform itself, and 100% of Blu-ray disc player was completely built on top of the Java, or you can say a player shipped with Java platform as such. You can run any Java program if you want. And there are 5 billion Java cards are in use, and around 125 million TV devices running the Java at this based on current market predictions. So I'm giving you this information just like a FAA sake. You can just think, if Java is been using in such a widely, you can think if you learn the Java, or if you are looking for opportunities in the Java, I'm sure you'll find much high probable than other programming languages or other tools or other application packages. So it will give you a very quick idea so how widely Java has been using in the industry. So how Java will help me or help my career change as a programmer, what is the benefit I'm going to get by using the Java or by learning the Java. So one thing is, so you can easily getting started with the Java programming because it's very high level programming, and it follows some of the syntaxes from the predecessor programming language like C, C++. And moreover, in the Java, write less code and achieve your functionality quickly. And you can build and deploy the applications very fastly by using widely available tools and frameworks available in the Java. Just to give you as an example, using the Maven, I can build my application and I can generate my site in 5 minutes. You believe or not, that's pretty much you can do that. And other than that, there are lots and lots of tools, frameworks and libraries are available in the Java platform as such. So what is the benefit you're going to get? So if you want to develop a Java application by using these tools, by using these frameworks, you can quickly build them and make them productionalize, means make them start use of it. So what do you mean of this library? For example, I want to build images. I want to build something called charts in the Java. How quickly I can build it? So just to give you as an example, if you go to JChart, there is a chart library called JFree chart, and using this JFree charts you can quickly build any chart images, and it is pretty quick and it's very fast, and you don't have to, and you can find a lot of getting started help, and you can find the examples, samples, and by following them you can quickly build a program which can generate a chart out of it. So like these kind of libraries, you can find n number of libraries in the Java world. And moreover, for Java you can find lots and lots of documentation, Java blogs and forums. It will help you to make sure your daily programming life runs smoothly. Why? Because so in the programming world, every day is like a challenge, it is like an adventure for you, and you really don't know what surprise or what problem you might get tomorrow, right? And always the problems, whether you might be able to resolve by yourself or you need to look for some help to fix the problems. That's where you have to highly depends on the documentation or blogs or forums where across the globe people would have faced the similar kind of issue, and you can look through that what are the resolutions for that. And this is like a very as a programmer perspective, this is very, very important. So having good documentation, having good forums and lot of user community is always good from the developer perspective. And in the Java you can find lot of reusable component through which you can easily build your application. Just to give you as an example, I want to build a SMS program. So do you believe I have to build everything from the scratch? You don't require. There are a lot of freely available SMS components available in the market. You can use any one of each and you can build your own need of sending the SMS alerts through your applications. Like that, you can find a lot of reusable components which you can just bring them and do your application specific customizations, and you can start use them, and you can build your application specific logic very quickly on top of it. So what kind of applications I can build using the Java? There are wide variety of applications you can do. As I already told you, so Java is a platform being running in many different types of devices, and so that gives you more probability and to build wide variety of applications. Just to give you as a sample, so you can build a desktop and enterprise level applications. You can build the applications which can run in the browser. You can build messaging applications, email applications, distributed applications. You can build some tools. Just to give you as an example, like Pega tool is a CRM tool which is available in the market. Even that Pega tool was built, most of the percentage was built on top of the Java. So Informatica uses Java inside it. And like that, there are a lot of commercial tools also leverage Java platform in it to build their tooling or supporting information and applications for the tool related stuff. So what is the current market need? If you look, most of our current market is using the multi-screen systems. What is that? So if you take the Amazon is a multi-screen system, a multi-screen application. You can access the Amazon through the browsers. You can access the Amazon through the iPhone. You can access the Amazon through the Android. You can access the Amazon through the Windows Phone, tablets, and even in your smart TV as well. So this is how the whole world is moving towards. So do you think Amazon built that application runs in each of these devices? Absolutely no, right? So if that is the case, Amazon would have incurred a lot of expense in building such kind of application. Take the Netflix. Netflix also runs on browser, iPhone, Android phone, Windows Phone, iPad, and smart TV, or normal TV, or some kind of streaming devices like Blu-ray player. So do Netflix built complete its business logic in all of these different variations? Absolutely no. So what making this is reality? So this is like more or less current market need for most of the solutions what industry has been looking. So if you see these like a multi-screen or multi-device applications or systems, how I can enable this? So by using service-oriented programming. If you check the Amazon would have built its complete business logic in terms of services like a search service, item service, user service, checkout service, review service, profile service, login service. Like that, it would have built all the services, and these services being invoked from all these different presentation devices or applications. And these services will be consistently talking to the database or some kind of messaging to do the data relevant interactions. So this is the primary objective of this training, and our whole course has been designed in such a way to meet this current market need. So let me take you inside what we are going to learn in this today's training demo session. And once I enroll into the training, what kind of topics I'll be learning, and let me take you through each one by one. Will give you very good insight into the training what we are going to learn. See, I will start with the core Java. So core Java is pretty much fundamentally required to build this kind of multi-screen or multi-device applications. So this is like very like a fundamental platform you pretty much required, whether you want to write a browser-based application or service-based application or database interaction, data manipulation, whatever it could be. So you need core Java as a fundamental concept. In the core Java, we will start learning from very Java fundamentals. If you're kind of pretty new to the Java, don't worry, we'll be starting from the Java from the scratch. That will give you the enough required information. And we'll talk about the object-oriented programming concepts like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, all those things, and how we implement them in the Java. Then we are going to talk about interfaces, exceptions, multi-threading, input-output, like how to read and write the files, and collection framework. So it is going to introduce you a lot of the data structures like list, set, hash map, and linked list, and how do you deal with the data algorithms, like how do you sort the data, how do you search for the data, right? And how do you efficiently use the data structure. For example, if you're building a very huge volume of data application like Amazon, so you want to represent 1 million or 100,000 items in the in-memory, and you want to sort them, what is the best way to do it? We can definitely learn that. And other than that, we are going to learn some of the latest Java concepts like annotations. What is annotations? So when do you use it? What is the advantage of using the annotations? And like enums, enum is a one more concept has been introduced from the Java 1.5 onwards. And also we are going to learn something like concurrency collections, boxing and unboxing. All those things we will be learning, so part of the as a core Java fundamentals. So once you have core Java, to deal with database, we are going to learn JDBC. So we are going to understand what is the JDBC architecture, how do you use the JDBC to interact with the database, how I can read the data, how I can write the data, how I can manipulate and delete the data from the database. And besides that, so sometimes just doing these things is not sufficient, but in the real application world, how you will write the JDBC program. You are not going to do like a connection creation for every request. So in the production based application, they use some kind of solutions called database connection pools. Okay, so that will really optimize and make your application very efficient. So we are going to learn how we can use the JDBC connection pools. And besides that, based on the JDBC, so JDBC more like interacting with the database as a SQL program, as a SQL interface. So for example, today I've been talking to you guys. So I'm talking to you in English language, right? But so certainly so if one person doesn't understand English, then he will have a gap. As a Java programmer, we are very much familiar with the objects and classes, but certainly you might familiar with the SQL and all and database concepts, but even to fill the gap, they have some frameworks called ORM frameworks, that's called object relation mapping. So this will fill the gap between your Java objects and database table. And there are many frameworks available for this ORM. One is like a Hibernate, and we are going to learn how this Hibernate works. Using Hibernate, how I'm going to talk to the database. And not only that, so as we keep going, so we are going to deal with data very often, like when you're building the services, when you're storing the data, sometimes you might need to store the data in the form of XML. So we are going to understand what is this XML, why we are using XML to represent the data. So that's why we are going to learn part of the basics and how we are going to interpret the data from the XML using the parsers. But trust me, in nowadays, not many people are writing the parsers. Then what they are doing? How are they reading and writing the data from the XML? That's what is they are using the framework called JAXB, Java API for XML binding, or Java architecture for XML binding. So these are the very latest frameworks which is being used very often and very widely across the industry to deal with the XML data. Not only that, based on this, they build even JSON to interact with the JSON data also. So JSON is nothing but a JavaScript object notation. We can talk some of the basics about the JSON as well, part of the training course. Then once you have database, once you are comfortable with dealing with the database, interacting, connecting to the database, and once you know how to read and write the XML data, we are going to learn web applications programming. What is that? How I can build an application, something works like Amazon. How I can build an application works like Bank of America, my account portal. How I can build an application which works like Gmail. So for all of them, you will be accessing application over the browser, right? So for example, I'm accessing amazon.com. So means I'm sending a request through the browser. So how this works, how I can build these kind of applications, that's what we're going to learn here. So to learn this web programming, the fundamental concept is HTTP protocol. We need to understand protocol, how it exchanges the request and response message, what is the communication. We need to understand that. Then we are going to learn or use some of the web servers to demonstrate these web programming examples. And we are going to learn servlets, JSPs, custom tags, and MVC design pattern, and a framework called Spring Framework. So you might feel these are like a very technical words, but we are going to learn them very in detail part of the training course. So why? Because so when you're developing the web-based application, you need to deal with many different things, like how do you handle the session, how do you handle the request, how do you handle the cookies, and how can I do some personalization, how can I do some single sign-on, right? And many different sorts of things we can deal and we can learn when you're dealing with the web programming concepts. So once you are completed this web programming side, then we are going to deal with service layer. So how I can build these services? So what should I know? So we are going to learn web services to build the search, item, user, checkout kind of services. And to build this kind of web services, you need to know SOAP protocol, and there is a language called WSGL, that's called Web Service Description Programming Language. Description language, not the programming. And based on this, so there are implementations are available in the market as open source. We are going to use Access2O SOAP stack implementation, which is one of the widely used implementation part of the production web services systems as well. And when you're developing these web services, certainly you need to have some tool to test it. We are going to use a tool called SOAP tool. This is one kind of services we can build by using the web services. Then other type is called RESTful services. So RESTful services are services which wraps around HTTP resources and how we can build them. And when you are building a services and the other part, so if you look at our multi-screen system, so once these services has been built, they are consumed by many different applications and clients. How we can build a program to consume the service, that's what we are going to learn, consuming the services. And when you're going to write this, how we are going to exchange or communicate the error messages, and how we can do the testing these services. Okay, so all these concepts we are going to learn part of the service layer. And other than this, other than core, database, and web programming services, what I'm going to learn other than that? Yes, certainly, to build this production class of applications, you need to use some kind of tools, some kind of frameworks. You have to use must along with these programming concepts. That's where we are going to learn design patterns. These are like best solutions for the recurring problems. So what are the popular design patterns, and we are going to learn these and how to apply them and how to build solutions by using these patterns. And other than that, so when you're building the applications, you need to do some kind of login to create a transparency to know what's happening inside the system. Because once you build these applications, it runs in the production. You cannot go and see inside the production box what's going on. And moreover, you cannot continuously monitor. You need to have some records which will tell you what's going on. If something goes wrong, that will give you some way to trace the problems. That's why you need to use the logging. And we also nowadays, most of the companies and industries are following an approach called test driven development. When you're writing a piece of code, that piece of code must be tested by the developer using some of the unit testing framework. We are going for that sake, we are going to learn a JUnit. How we are going to use the JUnit to test the code you have been writing. And when you're writing the JUnit, we are going to learn a lot of new things, like how you're going to write a test by using the annotations, how you're going to test the exceptions, how you're going to test the timeouts, how you're going to write a mock object. Sometimes some of the objects, real-time objects, may not be available, like database connection, the request, a response. this is only available in the real time. If you don't get this kind of real time objects, how do you simulate them? That's called mocking concept, right? And all those things will be learned part of the JUnit unit testing framework. Then we are going to talk about Maven build tool. By using the Maven, how quickly you can create your project and how easily you can manage the dependencies, how quickly you can compile your program, how quickly you can build your application. So all these things is very much easily automated by using a build tool, and which is very much widely using across the Java industry. And there is a other sorts of tool called jar tool. This is very simple and very primitive, but we are going to cover that. And other than this, so as a developer you must be dealing with issues all the time when you're working on the development, right? And sometimes some of the problems are very hard to find. That's where you're going to use a debugging. How I'm going to debug a program which is running on my computer, how I'm going to debug a program which is running on the remote computer, that's called servers. So we are going to see how I can do all these things. And to all these things, and certainly I need to use some kind of tools and servers. And I'm going to use two different IDEs. One is Eclipse and other one is called STS. STS is nothing but a Spring Tool Suite. So by using that, we should be able to build Spring based applications very quickly. And so also we are going to use the Apache Tomcat server to deploy our applications, and we can make them run. And always we are going to deal with best coding practices, because in the industry, in the market, there are many Java programmers. How you can distinguish yourselves from others? By writing a best code, right? By following some guidelines. And I'll be helping out across, giving you what are the frequently asked questions and what are the interview tips and how do you prepare the resume and all those things. I'll certainly help you part of the training. So why you have to choose the Java training with me? So there are bunch of reasons. You can find it's the whole the overall this training objective is it's more like practical rather than just talking about some of the theory concept and leaving. It's more practical and it's more hands-on learning, because for every concept we'll talk, we will apply an example. So just to tell you, so here you can find for every concept we are going to talk, I'll be giving you an example for that. I'll be giving you an example. Then for every topic which I talk in the class, I'll be providing you the detailed presentation slides. So if you see here, for every topic I'm going to discuss, I'll be providing you the slides. These slides are pretty detailed and it will give you all the required information to understand. And I'll be giving these slides for each and every topic which I'm going to talk in the class. Then for every topic, as I told you, we will take a use case example and we'll try to implement it. So just to give you an example, for example, I want to build an application called international or localized applications. So means a program which runs in a application which display in different languages. Like if you access the Google can show in the English, French, German, in different languages, right? How can we build such kind of applications? So we will take a clear example and we'll try to apply that. And so let me give you that. So let me show you quickly. And let me start the server, and where I have some examples which is running, and HTTP localhost 8080 Spring add student.htm, and you can see I just built a simple form called student form where you can see the name of the student, email address, phone number, and all these things. And this works with two different languages. I can make it work with the French and I can make it work with English. How this is possible? We are going to learn how we can build this kind of international applications. You're going to build one application, but it is capable of displaying in different languages. These kind of applications called either internationalized applications or localized applications, means they display the content in the localized language. And something similarly, how we are going to deal with the sessions, cookies, personalization, we're going to see as a practical example that will give you very hands-on understanding how you can apply this concept in terms of program. Okay, and I'll be providing you the assignments as we keep going, so that will give you some kind of practice, how you can, whatever concepts you're learning, how you can implement them in the programs, and we can definitely talk about those assignments in the classes to making sure everybody on the same page. And I can help you, so part of this I can give you some of the interview relevant guidelines, how to face the interviews and how to answer the questions, what kind of things you have to focus more. And certainly we are going to learn what are the good coding guidelines. And at the end we can take one sample application and we can detailedly discuss how we can design it and how we can implement it. And besides all of them, so I'll be providing you a training portal, something similar to this, just to give you as an example. So you will be given access to my Java training portal, where you should be able to access my training content. You should be able to watch all the videos and you should be able to access all the examples, and all of my course content you should be able to access throughout the training, and even I can give you the access after the training also for you guys. And for every topic, as I told you, so I'll be providing you the videos and you should be able to going through them as and when you want. Even if sometimes if you miss, you can go through my videos. Even if you want, you can attend them, re-attend them again in my following batches, or if a lot of people misses that, I can do a makeup classes for them as well. So this is more like the overall training will be run as a so more job oriented way, and I'll stress more on the practical use cases to understand how we can apply these concepts in terms of applications.